This campaign fits perfectly with what's next, because what I see is what's next is, number one, for the church to continue to grow spiritually. Number two, for the church to continue to grow in terms of Christian education. Number three, I think what you're going to see is the church continuing to grow in terms of our mission and service to society. And number four, it's also the fellowship. You know, fellowship, we can't diminish that, how important it is. But those, to me, are the cornerstones of what this church is all about. And the church is a wonderful services. We're feeding people after funerals. We're giving out more in terms of benevolence. But in spite of all that, the church continues to be blessed. And I really go back to why we're able to do a lot of the things that we do. And while we see it in this instance very visually because of a capital brick campaign, the truth of the matter is that the same persons who are part of this, our trustee board, our treasurer, the Capital Bricks Campaign Committee, they represent part of the progressive leadership of this church.
Well, I'm actually not in charge of this one, but I was a co-chair of the anniversary committee where we celebrated the pastor's 25th anniversary last fall. And as a part of that, we did a Bricks for Nick. Let people purchase bricks that will be installed in the sidewalk around the church. And that was the first part of the Bricks campaign, which is a portion of the 2010 to 2012 capital campaign to raise the celebration that we're going to have on June 12th of the bricks. It's going to be right out in front of the church, right here where the sidewalk meets the steps. And people will be able to put any type of messages they want.
I think with the economic conditions of our nation, of course, and the city of Detroit, a church, I think, should be financially stable. And this is a way of really helping the church to stay on its foot or to stay financially solvent during these very rough times. Giving is always an expectation in churches. And I think that when one gives for such a special project, that the returns are just so numerous. So we're just asking people, you know, to dig deeply into their pockets, in their purses, their bank accounts, or whatever, and do something that will forever make them associated with the church.
I see this as a living history, an evolving living history, because not only will we have this first phase of installation of bricks, if we have enough people, we will move around from the front or the east entrance to the church to the south entrance off of St. Antoine. Now, in 2010, we celebrated our 90th anniversary culminating celebration, and it was a wonderful event. And one of the things that we gave to the church was a montage of photographs of members of the church, and they were embedded in the scenic picture of the sanctuary. And when we gave that, the fact that stood out to us was that everybody was represented because they were a history making group in the church. They had given and been a part of our projects up to that point. And when they look back on it, they will be able to see past pastors of Plymouth Church. We're going to honor them in a commemorative brick. They will see past moderators or the lay leaders of Plymouth Church. They will be able to see that it was all the cornerstone around Reverend Hood's 25th anniversary as pastor. So it has a lot of historical perspectives to it, and we hope to really make it a big, big blessing to the church financially.
Well, 2011, basically, after we do the raise the money that we're raising now, then we're going to have the dedication.
I'd just like to add that Plymouth Church is the kind of church where it's inclusive, and I think the brick campaign is a way to support so many needs in terms of the Capitol building needs, renovations and that kind of thing, is a way that everybody can be involved.
The thing that we want to keep in mind, and by getting everybody involved in it, we'll be able to, first of all, ensure our part of the legacy, because we will be the ones perpetuated on, so that my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren can look at this campaign and say, you know, my grandfather planted that brick for me in order that I could be part of the legacy of Plymouth Church. When you look at a campaign like this, there's usually three types of people involved in the campaign. There are the people, of course, that will watch it happen. There are the people that will make it happen, and then there are the people in the end that say what happened. We don't want anybody to say what happened. We want to work together as a group to make sure this is a successful campaign, and we appreciate everybody's effort.
What do you see happening? What's next for 2011?
Next for 2011, about 5 years ago, we went through a major renovation, and we've been very blessed to pay half of that off. So we still have some more bills to pay so that we can move forward. So with the legacy capital campaign that that's going on now, we will be able to maintain the building, but we also need to make sure that we pay off our renovation loan so that we can move forward and grow.
In a general sense, what does raising this money do for the church, just in the general sense?
It provides more financial stability, a little more relief than we've had over the past year or two. It also helps us to start thinking more strategically about potential endowments so that we further the longevity of the church so that we're here for another 90+ years.
First thing I want to say is just thank you. I want to thank the committee, the people who are on this video represent really the core of the leadership of our church. And you know, a church is only as good as its lay leadership. Our church, and it is really their effort, their combined efforts, our combined efforts, that have made for a successful campaign. I mean, they raised in excess of $100,000 in about 8 weeks. I mean, it's incredible. And in the African American community, there are few opportunities where people have a chance to leave a legacy. It's a twofold legacy. Number one, we're creating a legacy for the church in a capital endowment that hopefully the day will come before I die, but definitely, hopefully by the time my children have a capital endowment, which would take an enormous pressure off the church in terms of how do you maintain a building. You know, we have a scholarship endowment, which is endowed now at about a little bit more than $400,000. So we're on the way in terms of scholarships because we value education. But what this capital campaign is doing is it's showing that we also value the property. We're taking care of our property. So it's a legacy in terms of a capital endowment, but it's also a legacy in terms of giving the members an opportunity to put their name in a brick in the ground. How many times have you been to a place where you saw names of people who were leaders once upon a time, they're long gone, but because of the groundwork that they laid, institutions survived. To those who are watching this video, if you're a member of the church, a friend of the church, I know some of you looking at this may be members who have moved away out of the state because of the economy. We want you to know that the church loves you, the church needs you, and if you haven't bought a brick, there's still time till March 31st.